Hi, I'm Natasha. This is my channel, Always Be Crafting. Today is Saturday, April 5th. Welcome to April. And it is Saturday, which means on Saturdays I sew. And I am sewing this morning, which feels good. Feels good to be sewing. The last video I made was another Saturdays I sew. And I usually make a video on Mondays because I do making Mondays. But when I started doing my video on Monday, I was very excited. I was recording on Monday and I was doing punch needle. And there was something about the way my head was tilted. Like I looked down to do the punch needle. And as I was tilted, my head was tilted for like 15 minutes, straight, just doing the punch needle and very focused. And I started getting very dizzy. Very dizzy, very dizzy. All of a sudden the room is spinning. I got severe vertigo. I did not know what was going on. I had to call my husband to help me walk up the stairs. I couldn't even make it all the way up the stairs. I had to sit down on the landing. He had to bring me a trash can so I could throw up. It was horrible. I got hit with horrible vertigo. I was done like the rest of Monday. Tuesday, I thought I was going to go to work. Couldn't even go to work. Like, it was bad. I stayed home on Tuesday, tried to do like little things here in the house. Sewing is pretty good because I think the way my head is mostly upright, I'm not really at an angle. My eyes can be more angled than my head. So I've been kind of moving around, doing little bits here and there, taking it easy. I went to the doctor. Turns out I had an ear infection, which I had no pain, no congestion. So I was very surprised, but I'm on now antibiotics and steroids. So I'm feeling a bit better. I think you can see that I look a little bit more alert, and that's great. But it's also, I'm still a little off. Like I'm still having little bits of dizziness. Again, if my head is angled for too long at a certain angle. I don't know if it's a reaction to the medication or to that actual, vertigo issue, having some issues with certain foods. So it's been an interesting week. So I'm just trying to move forward, trying to make the most of my day. So what am I doing today? I just finished one of my Ditty Bag 2.0s. I had cut these up. I think I cut them up like 2 weeks ago. I had done the exteriors and the quilting. And then last week I cut the interior lining out of the Splash waterproof fabric. And I thought I was going to get them done during the week. But again, it was a weird week. Had to work in like little bursts of energy. So I didn't get them completed. But now they're at the final stage where, because I'm making 6 at once, I like to do assembly line. It works faster. If you're doing all the same bag, I like to do the same step on each bag at the same time. So now I'm at that final step, which is closing the bag and binding it. So this one is the Ken fabric and an accent side, because when I cut the Ken fabric, I cut it too quickly and I did not allow for the end bits in the Ken fabric. So I did accent fabric, but I love how it came out. And I wanted to try a different binding technique than I'd ever used, and that is using fold over elastic, which I've never used on binding in this bag. I've used it binding on other bags, but I wanted to see how it would work on this. The first one, okay, this is the first one. Not beautiful, but I think, it's like the first pancake. It's wonky. It's not great. But again, I did it on this bag because this is for my sister-in-law. She's going to be the most forgiving. If anyone is going to forgive uneven lines, it's going to be your sister-in-law. So not so great, but that's okay. The second one, I think, came out a lot nicer. So, and plus it's on the inside of the bag. People are really not turning it inside out very often. When it's on the inside, I don't think you even notice that waviness. I mean, I had to turn it inside out to show that to you, right? Now I'm going to show you from inside the bag. Now inside the bag, are you noticing any of that? Like when you're just looking down to the inside of the bag, are you noticing that binding being a little wonky? No, I don't think you are. I'm looking inside and I am not being alerted to wonkiness. Like I have to really look to see which was the worst side. I'm not noticing it. So I'm not going to be super worried. I'm not going to change my thread to match the color of the binding. And this is the black one. The other ones are not black. I've got red, blue, pink, white, yellow. So I'm going to try to match the different colors. So like this one has red. So I'm going to test it out, but I think this will probably go with the red elastic. Makes sense. And I think it's going to be cute. So, and then the other ones I'll probably also start adding in my tag, my Always Be Crafting, because the other ones are for sale. So when I put things up for sale, I do like to add my business tag on them. I usually do add my business tag, my Always Be Crafting tag, even when I give it as a gift, just because I think it's, I bought the tags, I might as well. But I was not thinking when I made this really fast. I made it for my sister-in-law, like I said. And I made it and I was like, oh, I forgot my tag. She knows who I am. She will forgive the lack of a tag in this case. But I think, again, came out really cute and I think she's going to love it. And if you did not watch any of the other videos, the reason I'm using the Ken doll fabric for my sister-in-law is because my brother's name is Ken. So that's funny. And her daughter is obsessed with Barbie. So I just felt like I only had a little bit of Ken doll fabric. If anyone was going to appreciate a Ken doll ditty bag, it was going to be my sister-in-law. So I think I'm going to fill that up with some treats and send that to her as a little gift, because I think we could all use a little pick-me-up from time to time. So that's going to go out in the mail. So I have 5 more bags that will go for the sale at the end of April. I have the craft show. It's not really a craft show, it's a market, I guess. A little market for Earth Day celebration at a nature center. It's a very kid-oriented event at the nature center. So, parents and children. So I'm trying to make sure I'm having product that will be fun for kids as well as fun for grown-ups, that the grown-ups might enjoy. So I think the ditty bags will be nice for both. And like some of my fabrics, I think are very child-friendly as well as grown-up friendly. And I think having a water proof bag, wiping it out, cleaning this size, I think is great for grown-ups with small children, because then you can put all sorts of things in your big bag, like underwears, snacks, all sorts of things, and you have something on the go. Excellent. And so I've got other bags. I still haven't cut out my shark bags. That's what I was making on Monday, were the shark eyes. And I am still filming that video. Instead of it being a Making Monday video, it's just going to be an exploration of me making shark eyes. Maybe it will come out on Monday because I've just had to make it a little slower. But I'm still in process. I've got one shark eye fully punched. I've got another shark eye halfway punched. So I'm going to continue making them. And as I finish them and film it, I'll put out a shark eyes needle punched patch video and see how that goes. And what else am I making today? I'll just get back to all the other bags. I still have the tote bags are cut out. I have the backpacks are cut out to be sewn. I got the straps in the mail that I had ordered. Everything's here now. So anything I was waiting on before, zippers, straps, etc., that I was hoping to receive has been received. I received a bit more fabric because I wanted to cut a couple of like crossbody bags. So everything is here that I wanted, but I think I have to finish up these. So I don't know, kind of boring, but I'm just going to finish up all the bindings because they're all ready to be, sewn together and bound. And then I'll be able to move on. The ditty bags will be done. So that's what I'm doing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Hopefully I will get to talk to you again as the day goes on, but just in case I don't, I hope you are taking care of yourself. I hope you are doing something to keep your creativity flowing, because it has been shown, there's been a ton of research, especially after COVID, that the people who find ways to be creative, whether it is through a craft or cooking or a musical pursuit, whatever it is, people who have a way to be creative are going to stay mentally more resilient, emotionally, psychologically more resilient than those who don't have that creative outlet. Okay. So creativity is a form of, what do I want to say? It's a form of resistance. It is solidifying you as a person. It's keeping you more solid. I know there's better words for all the things I'm saying, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. So do whatever you have to do. If you have to go bake something, go bake something. If you have to go for a walk and just think of a story while you're walking, tell yourself a story. Go, whatever it is. Look at the trees, look at the things, look at whatever. See a little squirrel running around and make up a story. Oh, look at that little squirrel. I wonder if he's gathering nuts. Maybe he has a little squirrel family. Start writing a story about the squirrel you saw. That's creative. Don't limit yourself, right? Don't limit yourself. Other people are going to try to limit us. Don't let that happen. That's all I'm saying. All right, that's enough. That's my soapbox. Thank you for being here. I hope you liked it. I hope you come back, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hi, I'm back. It is the end of the day. It is now 9:15 at night, and I need to start getting ready to go pick my son up at the movie theater. His movie should be about halfway over, and it's only about a 20-minute drive, so I have a little time So I wanted to bring you up to speed on what I've accomplished today. I've been in and out of the sewing room. I spoke to you almost 12 hours ago. I think the last time I spoke to the camera was around 10 a.m. Since then, I have showered, hence the hair change. Back in my Halloween sweatshirt, because it's just a nice cozy sweatshirt here in the basement. All right, let's see. I have finished the ditty bags. So we've got polka dots on the outside with red on the inside. We've got blue fun swirly things. I think it's blue, yep, with blue. Again, all of these are lined with splash fabric. Ken, I think I showed you the Ken doll earlier, with black on the inside. We've got these fun little houses. They're all going sideways, which I realized after I cut the fabric. But I'm like, I don't know that it's directional because the houses were all like upside down and whatever anyways. They were going in two directions as it was. So I went with it. I'm like, we can have sideways houses and ladybugs on the inside, because I loved that the ladybugs were kind of the same pinkish coral color. I just loved that, and I love ladybugs. This one's fun. Okay, look, it's like purples and greens and pinks. It's like very flowery. I really dig it, but wait till you see the inside on this one. Cats with yarn. How fun is that? And then last, saxophones, and on the inside, yellow. And yeah, I had a pretty decent success on the fold over elastic binding. Pretty much it got easier as I went along. So I'm pleased with how those all turned out. And I finished the cat tote bag. All I have to do is add in the drawstring. Drawstrings are over there. I may or may not take this in the car with me while I sit outside the movie theater. I may add drawstrings, but how cute is that? I think it's adorable. And this was the accent fabric. And then the interior is the same, pretty close to the pink of the straps, very bright pink inside. And then the pocket is the same as this accent fabric. And you can see the cats are like purple and pink. So that's why I wanted to wait for the pink webbing to come in. So I just thought, too delicious, too perfect. And then so that'll have the drawstring closure at the top. I'm making the flower tote right now. I realized I had to trim down the lining when I had ironed on the SF101 to the lining fabric, which is this beautiful stripe cotton. I hadn't trimmed it down after I fused the interfacing. So it's actually, I got a new cutting board, you know, rotary mat, you know. Anyways, I have my big cutting table that's propped behind you. And then I have like my crafting table over here where you see me when I do like crickety stuff or, usually I make stickers over there. I was doing my punch needle over there. Anyways, I had my old warped cutting mat over there, but the warps were really driving me insane. And when I was placing an order online at Wawak, I don't know how to pronounce it, W-A-W-A-K. It's that online sewing store. Phenomenal. That's where I get all my thread, needles, a lot of my hardware for purses, zippers, a lot of stuff comes from there. Not everything, because I also order from like So Hungry Hippie and Zipper Valley and, you know, Wonderground Fabrics. I order from a lot of small businesses, but a lot of my stuff does come from Wawak. Anyways, while I was placing an order for like some threads at Wawak, I noticed that their cutting boards, like their branded cutting boards, rotary mats were on sale. So I was able to get a 24-inch by 36-inch, you know, that's the big one, for only $25, which is so cheap. That's like over 50% off. That's so cheap. So I was like, yes, that's the size I have on that table over there. So goodbye, wavy old rotary mat. It's out in the garage now in my, you know, new craft zone in the garage. And now I have a new one there. So I'm probably just going to trim the lining fabric for the flower bag over there on my new mat, since the mat that's directly behind you is covered in all the pieces for the backpack. So that one's empty and ready to be used since I just installed it. So why not? So I think that's it. If I do any more sewing, I'm not going to film it because it's really just going to be trimming up fabric, and maybe I'll have time to sew the lining together. Maybe. I think, so I'm looking at this flower fabric. I think I'm going to go for the pink handles. I wasn't going to decide until the pink webbing had arrived for the cat fabric, and I was torn between using natural or pink, but the more I look at the pink, I don't know, I'm torn, because with the black and white as my accent fabric for this, I feel like the natural makes it weird. I don't know, maybe I should do something else. I wish I had black webbing, like black cotton webbing. You know what? I do have black cotton webbing in like a thicker. Should I do sparkle webbing? But how fun would that be? Anyways, I'll make that decision, and then you'll just have to find out what I do later. Because I'm sure I'll do like a whole show about the craft fair when it happens in like 3 weeks. As I continue to just keep making things between now and then, because I have to finish the backpacks, and I still haven't cut out all the shark bags. And I haven't done all the other fun things like the book pouches, because I thought I'd do the book sleeves because those are always fun. And I want to do some crossbody bags. I want to make at least 15 more bags. That's a lot of bags. I only have 3 weeks, and I have Passover, and I have rehearsals at night, and I have vertigo. How am I going to get this all done? My vertigo is not super bad, but I have had like a few times today where I've had to sit down and like stop what I'm doing because I've been really dizzy. It'll be what it'll be, right? Thanks for being here. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Today was a hard day for a lot of people. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Thanks for doing what you're doing. Thanks for being here. Bye.